Right guys, welcome back to A Day in the Life of an Online Trainer episode 2. So in today's episode, I'm going to go and film Dan and Mike from Biceps and Banter. If anyone remembers, they were on the Online Trainer Show podcast back last year, where we talked to them about their online business, how they've done it, how they've done to grow the business, what they do, what their day looks like. But now I'm actually going to go and film them today and get a real insight as to what they actually do, how they do client check-ins, how they manage the business as a team, because Dan and Mike, they work together, how they manage their Facebook groups, how they get new clients in. We're going to be looking at everything. Probably end up going to the gym as well, and we'll get some food, and we'll also do a Q&A section at the end of the video as well. So exciting stuff to come today. I am literally about 20 minutes away from Dan and Mike, so let's head on over there and hopefully we'll catch them in the midst of doing some work. Right guys, so we have arrived at Dan and Mike's house, or Mike's house anyway. Here they are. Say hello, boys.
The couple there, mate.
There you go. It's the
Dan
couple.
Mike's house.
I wouldn't live with him.
No, I would live with him.
He's just here for the sex.
Yeah.
So both Mike and Dan, they're both doing their check-ins here today. Mike does his a little bit differently to Dan. Dan actually does his on calls with his clients, so it'd be good for everyone watching to actually be able to see how they both do their check-ins. So we'll show you that in the next couple of clips, and we'll let these two crack on. So Mike, what does an actual check-in involve for you for your current clients at the minute?
I just make it up, mate.
Don't we all?
Just drop the calories. Just do one cardio. Is that it?
Yeah, that would probably do. Yeah, probably.
They all do the same.
Yeah, all the same program.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You'll never know. As long as they don't talk to each other, you'll never know. Yeah, no. So a check-in would be, for me, my clients pick a couple of ways which they contact me. So they might voice note me, they might video themselves talking, or they might email, depending on what they're comfortable with or what they've got time for that week. So what I will do is then I will look over what they've sent me, and that will usually be like how the week's gone, good points, bad points, things that they could potentially work on, any questions they've got, anything coming up, events that I need to be wary of. So whilst they're explaining this on video, I will then open up things like their nutrition logs, where I track their data in terms of like their protein, their calories. Sometimes obviously I'll track their carbs and their fats as well. Depending on the individual, I'll track different bits of data. They'll also take like a weekly weight average. Again, some people I don't get to weigh, so again it's all sort of individual. I'll track their sleep. I'll ask them certain leading questions. Do they feel like they look leaner? How hard was their diet on a sort of scale? Like sort of what their hunger's been like, that sort of thing. I'll obviously look at their photos, and then I will take notes whilst doing so, and then I film them back bespokely, everything that I've picked up. So what I want them to change and why, what I want them to keep the same and why, any tweaks or anything that, any tips that I have, if there's any kind of issues that week. I'll answer any questions. I will set them up, say for example if they've got a social occasion, I will manipulate their weekly calories to reflect that, and then obviously give them advice for that social event, etc. And then a lot of them I get to film their videos of their training, so like certain lifts I'll ask for, I will then go through their training, have a look at what they're lifting, look at their progress, and then obviously look at their form on the lifts that they've sent me, and then I will critique that back to them on the video, so then they're confident for the week ahead to do what they want to do. And then I always obviously have my tech support, so if there's anything that they need to sort of come back with, any questions on my update, typically I'll start to get them this evening, and I'll just obviously it'll be quite a quick reply, like a voice note or something like that. So that's what a check-in involves, and then sort of every so often somebody might book in for a call if they've got something different coming up. So like if they're going away for a weekend and they're a little bit worried about it or something like that. So,
Wicked.
yeah, that's pretty much how I do things.
Yeah, awesome. So as you can see, it's no one-word email checking going on here with the guys over here. And I think if you want to be a successful online coach like Mike and Dan, you need to be doing these kinds of things. You can't just be giving your clients one-word replies and expecting to keep those clients for a long time. You'll see that the proof is in the pudding with Mike and Dan, their clients, the results they get, and how long they retain their clients for, that this is the right way to go.
Yeah. Alright, I think. Yeah, so I think we've got up another, like I said, slightly, another 10 grams of carbs on it, because you look like you're in a good place with that, and like I say, the amount of food you're eating is pretty good. And I think one more week while you're on your last sort of week of your training block and then into a deload, we might bring food.
I just finished up check-ins this morning. I think you've still got more to do later on today.
Loads too many.
Yeah,
Too many to do.
just constant hustle.
Hustle, grinding.
Just hustle, grind,
It's hard
all day.
work.
But in all seriousness, we worked very, very hard this morning. So we're going to take a bit of a break to do a Q&A now before we go to the gym and do a bit of a workout. So a few questions that are coming from you guys on the Q&A on Instagram.
Are you going to take us for a workout?
Huh?
You're going to take us
Yeah,
for a workout?
I think I should.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to train hard
Yeah.
and heavy.
What is it? Pulled
You
it.
said it was upper.
Upper. Any upper. As long as it's not
Still
lower.
As long as it's not legs.
You don't
Yeah.
want the legs.
No. Definitely not.
You don't want to answer the leg questions on it
Yeah, I'll answer anything. I'll talk bullshit about anything.
then. So, some of the questions come in were about fitness, and they shouldn't have been. They were more about coaching, so we'll only go with the coaching ones. So the first one, how do you handle stubborn clients unwilling to commit?
Do you want to take that? Well, you go first, and then I'll go with
Do
my
share
approach.
these.
I think you have to ask yourself, what is it about what you're putting out that's attracting clients who are not willing to commit? Like, I think for us, I don't think I ever really come across that, especially initially. Like when they sign up, they know what they want to do. They're paying a decent amount of money for it, so they're kind of usually pretty committed. The only time you sometimes get people who don't know what they want to do is once they've achieved a goal.
Yeah.
And they kind of go, oh, I don't know if I want to commit to gaining muscle or commit to losing body fat. But then it's your job as a coach to then kind of, I suppose, get that out of them and go, well, what is your long-term vision? What is it you want to achieve? You want to look a certain way or want to achieve that? And it's usually along the lines of, well, if you want to build muscle, you want to have a better looking physique, you probably have to spend a decent amount of time building muscle, and then you talk to them about having to commit to that and the things that are required. But often the reason people don't like committing is they think it's going to be so much more time consuming than it is actually going to be. Yeah, I don't really, like, initially, straight off the bat, I don't really have a huge issue with that.
I think pricing will play a large part in that.
Yeah,
I think
for
if,
sure.
if you're going lower price, you're going to get the flakier clients because it's not such a sting in your wallet. Whereas you price yourself a little bit higher, you're going to get the more adherent clients. But from time to time, you will get people who just are not committing.
But that's because, again, it doesn't sting them enough.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
sting them.
why
They've
it's like
probably,
to them
they've probably
to-
got enough money.
Yeah.
Right? They've probably got enough. But obviously, it's not ethical to increase their prices.
Yeah.
So what I tend to do is, I tend to ask them to leave. So that can work one or two ways. It's only ever worked positively. Well, it's in fact they're both positive things, right? So like they will either leave, and then that frees up a space where you can then fill it with somebody else who does want to get a result, because that person will never get you a result. So it doesn't matter. Like if they're never going to commit, it doesn't matter. Like they don't matter, and they will only talk bad about you to why they haven't got a result.
Yeah.
Like it's never going to be their fault. So like it doesn't make sense to carry on coaching them. So if they leave, fantastic. But usually what tends to happen is that they actually go, shit, I need to put my ideas up. And then it's almost like not a monetary sting, but the sting of maybe he's not going to work with me anymore. Like, and actually I do want to change. So that's what I do. If I do ever, on a rare occasion, I can maybe think of maybe 3 occasions in the last 3 years where I've had to say, this isn't working.
Yeah.
So that's what my approach. I take.
So
I
almost
go
like
cut
call their bluff a little bit.
Yeah,
and just
get
say,
the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on with
I
it.
had it the other day as well with a client who I thought was not committing.
Yeah.
But then when I actually delved deeper into speaking to her, it was actually just that she wanted a very slow rate of change.
Yeah.
And that she didn't actually want a massive overhaul, and that she was prepared to give it a year to 2 years of small, minimal change, because actually she'd rather have wine at the weekends and go out and do stuff. So there's also that element. I think we assume as coaches that everyone should be 100% committed all the time, but that's because you're assuming that they want to reach their fat loss goal as quickly as possible, or they've got this idea they want to be a certain place, and actually you have to then take a step back and ask them the question and go, well, what does he want out of this? And they might be like, well, just someone to write me some plans and actually so I feel comfortable in the gym rather necessarily than changing their physique drastically. I think there's always an assumption that everyone wants that and maybe they don't.
Yeah. But, that's good answers. Yeah, I think you're like, it's that thing, isn't it?
I think another valuable method is just posting their name all over social media and just saying that how lazy they are. That'll work.
We would kick them up there.
Yeah. Imagine that. Just call them out. Like if you don't work for me, I'm just going to put it all over social media. Like, and I'll put your start pictures up, and just how bad you are. That'll work. Go with that one. That's my answer.
Okay, cool. So this is such obviously like a generic question. I'm sure there's 1,001 answers for it. Best way to grow your client base. Let's put a scenario with this then. Best way to grow your client base if you are just starting out. What would you guys do if you had to start again? Because now you've obviously got so much social proof. Obviously, social media proof on like all of your platforms is different now. But for someone starting out, what would be your way of going about it?
So it's very, very daunting. Like obviously we've all started at some point, and I remember having that same feeling, which wasn't too long ago. Like, who's going to want to work with me?
Yeah.
But you realise that there are enough fat people. There are enough people that want to work with you. Like, and it's all about getting across your qualities and the traits that you've got, because there is something about you, regardless of what it is, that should distinguish you apart from something else. Whether, like for Dan, he's a dad, he's a nice bloke, he's relatable. People, mate, take it. Yeah, take it. It's not happening again. Yeah. But like, so that's his angle. I'm a twat, so I get the dickhead. Like, all my clients will agree with that. But like, you just need to get across who you are, put out valuable information, but in a way that's different to all the other people doing it. Because if I wanted to know about faster cardio, there's 1,000 different places I could find the same information. You need to put that across that's relatable to your target audience. So work out who you want to work with. Don't be too generic and broad, because you'll end up talking to nobody. Like, talking to everybody, you'll talk to no. So get a niche and target that aggressively. And then what I would say is, to build up a following, I would do something still like a lead capture. Like, I still would, and that's just through my personal experience. Like, I got people onto an email list. Like, that's personally what I would do. And Facebook had it. Just because building up from nothing is going to be so fucking hard.
You need social proof, don't you?
You need social proof. So what I did is, for my first 5 or 6 clients, I coached them for free. They were all my friends. I got decent results. So I had the social proof, but I also created an ebook that was targeted to males. It was like beer belly to beach body in 4 simple steps or something. And I got like 2,000 on my email list pretty quick. And then because my emails were quite good, I got a double percentage open rate in the fitness average. And then you're just creating that relationship with a larger group of people, right? That's a little bit more accessible, that are interested in fitness. Whereas, I don't know, just starting off without like, I couldn't start off without a lead capture. Like,
I think that's obviously number one. But I think the biggest thing that I'll say is, if you're getting social proof, you will not be ignored. Like, at some point, you're getting results. People, you're going to get referred people. You're going to get recommended people. Are going to see.
How do you get that initial client though?
And it's that whole. Well, yeah, no, but it's that whole thing of going for 6 months. I would go for the first 6 months. I'm just going to work with people for free, right? And it's daunting. Of course, it is. It's horrible to think, I'm going to do all this sort of stuff. But if you do it alongside a normal job, like I know a lot of people do, I would just be like, I've seen people do it all the time. But if you work with that, like you said, the demographic you want to work with. Let's just pick dad bods, right? You say you go see people. I'm looking for 20 people who've got dad bods, whatever. But I would work with them one-to-one, like I would do all my normal clients. I would practice and hone my skills with that, because again, not paying for it, so it doesn't matter. Yes, they might be a little bit flaky. You could always do like a little thing where you go, look, pay £100, you get it back if you complete the course or whatever. But I just think, just go all in on it and go all in 6 months, coach these people, 20 of them for free, get social proof. If you've got social proof, you then start going, right, it's going to cost you this much money. You've honed your skills of coaching people for 6 months. Because everyone else is doing all the other stuff. I think you've got to separate into something completely different. I would go for 6 months, coach people for free, one-to-one, not like in a group, not like in a challenge, and just set yourself that time limit and go, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Because by doing that in your head, you're going to go, right, by the end of 6 months, I'm going to have this many people that are going to transform their lives. You're going to get videos from them because they're not paying for it. Get videos from them, get their pictures all the time. Make sure you get all their like emails, all their text messages screenshotted, how good you are. Ask them to talk about that sort of stuff. Put it everywhere. And I would bet within 6 months you would get 10, 15 paying clients.
Yeah, for sure. I think
Alongside an email list
yeah.
of you then talking about content. But again, it's so easy to put out content when you've got talking about clients and how it's affecting your clients. Someone putting a post out about fasted cardio, great, who gives a shit.
Yeah.
But to go with, I've got my client Mike, who used to have a dad bod, used to do fasted cardio, and he now doesn't do fasted cardio. He looks so good. It's different content to fasted cardio doesn't matter. Yeah. You've got the social proof to go, well, look, this is someone who doesn't have it.
It's more believable.
Yeah. I just think no one's doing it. Like, I think if nowadays everyone, from what I see, is doing the same thing. Everyone thinks put out content. Yeah. The lead capture is important, the email is important, but I think that no one else is going to say for 6 months I work for people for free and get results people and then post them all over the place and go, right, as of that 6 months, I've now charged X amount because I'm worth it. Mm-hmm. I've got my systems honed because people aren't going to complain it's free. So you've got your systems honed, you know what you're doing with that, you know how you like to work, you know how that demographic like to work. And then, like you say, it's going to be a tough 6 months, of course it is.
Yeah.
But in a year and 6 months' time, you'll be glad you did it rather than the odd trying to get a client a month for 18 months. You might be 18, but I think if you did that way, you'd get more than 18 by the end of the 18 months.
And be consistent with that. Like, you've got to be consistent with what you put out. Like, there's times where you can't be asked talking to your Instagram or putting a post out, but you do it because it's your job. Yeah. So people don't look at it as a job. They see it as like an inconvenience to do certain things, or that doesn't matter if I don't post that day or that day, where the consistency is what builds up momentum. And people get used to watching you or listening to you or reading, whatever it is, whatever format that you're coming across on. Like, people will get used to that. Whereas if you're too intermittent with it, you'll never get into that routine. Yeah. So just be consistent. Like, I would just say, like,
don't try and do every single platform.
Yeah. Fucking master one or two.
Pick one or two. And do it.
Like, don't try to do everything.
But again, that's limited to demographics as well. So if I was going to start again, as of now, right today, I was going to pick a demographic for me, and I was going to go like, say, dads or whatever. It would be Facebook and email. Yeah. The majority of them probably won't be on Instagram looking at fitness. No. If you're going to go 25-year-olds, you'd probably more go Instagram. And like thinking about that, and because I see it again, everyone does it. They spread themselves too thin. They've got a YouTube channel, they've got a podcast, they've got all this sort of stuff. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and I'm like, it's all going to be shit because you're trying to do it all, and you're going to use the same bit of content for all these things. It's not going to work the same way. So I think it's just, don't be lazy for one, and then make sure you pick the content strategy that's relevant to your demographic.
Yeah, get one or two good platforms rather than like 7 mediocre ones.
I hope OFB is in line with all this, and we're not just contradicting it.
No, they are.
It's good guesses so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We're winging it.
Good guess. It's not for life, mate.
I know. They've not figured us out yet.
Yeah.
This is going to be a sarcastic answer for this, but I'm not great on the laptop. How would you suggest to get better? And also best software to use?
I would do it via carrier pigeon. If you're that bad, just go old school and breed pigeons. Get better at it. Practice. I'm fucking rubbish at it, aren't I? Rubbish. But there's not a huge amount of effort that needs to be going into that in terms of like drawing up a basic spreadsheet. Like, if you just attempted it, like, you would see that it's actually quite easy.
Yeah, I bet when you first started, your systems and spreadsheets were rubbish.
Dan did it.
They've just evolved over time. Like, mine were rubbish.
Well, Dan did it because I was like, I can't do it. I don't work with computers. But then I drafted one up for somebody else, like as a favour, and I was like, fuck me, it's easy. And I pretty much just recreated what he'd done, like I've just looking on Google, like how to do it. It was fucking easy.
Yeah.
Just play around with it.
Yeah, it's just practice like anything. It's like, I can't ride a bike. Like, what do I do to get better at riding a bike? Well, fucking practice riding a fucking bike, then. Like, you wouldn't go, I don't know, you want to get better at riding a bike? I don't know, juggle? Like, you would. It's fucking solid. You can't use a laptop, use your fucking laptop.
I just a bit more like cutthroat with it. I just like, why are you trying to be an online trainer?
Fucking hell. That is cutthroat.
No, but like,
why are you even alive, mate?
It's like me saying, I get really anxious around people. Well, don't be a one-to-one PT, probably. Like, it's not. I just think sometimes people try and get better at something and do something a certain way, and it's like, well, maybe online personal training isn't for you. Go into in person. If you're not good with computers, there's so many people who need one-to-one PTs. Like, online training. If I was to start again right this second, I don't think I would go 100% I'm going to drop everything now. I'm going to be an online trainer. I do the hybrid is, I think, in the future, the way to go.
Yeah.
If you've got a mix of going, I'm going to see you once a week in person, make sure your form's quality, and then once a week check in online, like that's the future.
Perfect.
People are gonna rinse it. If they do that, they will clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone now is trying to be that one-to-one PT, and they're like trying to get full with clients, and then they're missing out on that. Well, actually, you could spend that time at home, helping the same people you see in person. And then that issue where you're like, oh, I'm not very good online. We don't need to be now because you've seen them once a week in person. So all you got to do is pick up the phone on them with them the other time. You don't need to be great online. Whereas to be an online trainer, you have to be good on a computer. You have to be pretty decent with it. You have to know how they work, because if shit hits the fan, you can't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like if your computer breaks,
Get yourself down.
Exactly. No, but how many times have you been sat there and going, oh damn, what do you do with this? Like I get a text and I'm like, Dan, I think I've fucked this. I'm like, if I wasn't there, like you'd take you a day to work it out. Like I just think sometimes it's.
You're making me look stupid.
Sorry, mate. You're doing it yourself.
You really embarrassed me, haven't you?
No, but you can't use a camera, mate, either. So don't worry about it. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where keep it simple. Like you say, get a system in place to do it, but don't worry about trying to be perfect with software. Just go, right, it's an Excel spreadsheet. Go on Google. If he can go on Google and work out how to do it, can't be that hard. But don't
Google.com.
Yeah, .com. But don't try and think like you have to be an expert with like systems online. Like it's not required to be a good online trainer.
Just start and see where it goes from there.
People just take it to the extreme. They try and be like perfect at it. It's like you don't have to be perfect at it. That's just what I think.
We are, though. So.
We are 100% perfect.
100%.
Do you have a set program for standard general pop to start with, depending on their goals? So I guess we could probably expand that. Like, do you have templates for people who come on board for certain programs and everything, and then adopt them?
We give everybody the same program,
Everything.
whether they're beginner or contest pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 sets of 5.
5 sets of 5.
Pro fat.
Pro fat meals away from the workout and 200 grams of carbs post workout. We also get them to buy multiple supplements, link below. Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. No. Everybody's like, in terms of like, is this question about coaching or systems?
about coaching. So do you have set programs for standard general pop to start with, depending on their goals?
No. They're all going to be very much quite similar, I would imagine. They're probably going to start with minimal amount of training days. Like you're probably not going to be putting heavy compounds in. You might be slightly more machine based until they learn how to, stimulate a muscle, things like that. So they're still going to be tailored in a way that we take like training assessment. So we know exactly what kit they've got in gyms, etc. What they're comfortable to perform, whether they've got knowledge of that movement as well, and things like that. So we'll make sure that they're pretty confident with what they're doing and that they've got access to that bit of kit. In terms of rep and set schemes, it's probably going to be fairly similar. Less heavy work, obviously, with a beginner, probably a little bit more volume work. Again, just injury prevention. But yeah, then obviously they can progress then on from, say, more basic movements to more specialist movements, I suppose. Is how we don't really look at how much, like we don't really compare much. Like we'll discuss certain clients with each other, like and what we do in certain scenarios, but we don't really look at how each other program, do we?
Probably should.
Yeah, it's like a light bulb moment.
Probably should actually. Yeah.
I know. Well, considering the last person we worked with.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I think no, I don't have any I don't really have any templates. I don't have anything. I just all pretty much from scratch. I mean, I think as well, like we've talked about, like with systems and stuff, we've been doing it long enough now, I suppose, to know that most clients we get in are pretty similar. Yeah. Because we've got a demographic that we kind of aim for. But with the majority of our clients, it's actually more often than not about keeping it simple. They all come to us with these complex training plans and the complex nutritional strategies, and you're just like, I can't put down. I need to stress less about this sort of stuff. So it's actually more about taking them back to a more
simple.
Actually, just go 4 days a week instead of trying to get in the gym every day. Yeah, it's like 4 days of that. So it's not really a template. It's just a case of, like I said, we go through a full assessment in a week. So based on that, you can look at two people totally differently before and after.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have anything. I literally everything from scratch. We sound well, don't it? We sound real cool. But we probably should. Like in terms of systemizing things, it would be easier, I suppose, if we did. But most people they're going to have something that's slightly different, and I actually quite enjoy starting every single one from nothing. I suppose, as it were.
I think a lot of people just get caught up in the fact that everyone needs to be incredibly different. But I think the main thing is to get people to progress. As long as the training program is progressive. And it's not just the same template for someone that is on another program, then it's fine. Like, just make sure they progress in the gym. Make sure it's specific to them. If they can't do squats, don't give them squats.
Exactly that.
Like, and just
that's the thing. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed what people do. Like, but like that's exactly that. Because we ask them all the time. Like we had it the other day. I had an assessment form come through, and they didn't have a squat rack written down there, so I didn't put back squat front squat in there. I got a message through. Why back squats on my program? Well, you told me you don't have a squat rack. Oh, did I? I just thought you'd assume that every gym had a squat rack. Well, no,
that's why the question.
I don't assume it. It's in there. You've put that you haven't got one. And it was just like I thought you meant like a specific squat rack. Oh, no.
A specific one.
Like
list of cereal.
Yeah, like it was a machine or what? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, squat rack, and it was like. So then I was like, well, you told me you didn't have it. So there's that element to it as well where.
I think because there's so many generic training programs now that typically when people sign up, they've probably tried something before us, whether it's another coach or a generic plan, and obviously they're going to be given certain exercises in certain rep ranges, which we could probably just reel off now. So people sometimes I've had, why haven't you programmed this for me? Why haven't you done? Why isn't this in my? Because I've told you it's not in. Like because you're asking me to coach you. Like, so again, there's no magic exercise that needs to be programmed for everybody. Like, everybody shouldn't be squat, deading and benching. Like, one of my clients said, why am I not doing pull-ups? Well, no offence, but I don't believe that you could do one. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't believe that you could do one looking at you. Like, that's why they're not in. Like, well, I think people just think that there are certain magic movements that are going to get better results, when realistically, it's just about progressing that movement that you're doing, and you will see. God, you coughed right at the end there, right on a money shot.
Was that a good point? Was it? Doesn't happen
that was a winning end in that one. So how different is coaching prep to general population in terms of, I guess, systems as well? Like, what do you do differently that you would do for a gen pop
far
to a
more
prep
needy.
person?
They're far more needy.
That comes with territory then.
Yeah, that comes with territory. So you're probably going to get slightly more, like I do, like tech support. So you're probably going to get a little bit more leaning on you like that when the head starts to go towards the back end.
Head goes to the back end.
You're probably going to need to obviously structure things differently for peak week or practice peaking, and having multiple check-in days where you're looking at a person over multiple days as opposed to once a week, etc. So systems kind of change like that. In terms of how we coach, we're still going to give a video update, etc. And everybody would be across the board. We don't charge anymore for a specific thing, but we just get a bit more tailored. But then on the flip side, like the clients who aren't in a prep, it's slightly harder to keep them on track. So then that's where they're seeing the reward from their money, because we've then got to come up with certain strategies that are going to keep them on the straight and narrow. Whereas with a contest prep client, you tell them to fucking do anything and they'll do it. Like, for the first fucking 8-9 weeks of a contest prep, you could just let them go pretty much and they'll do it. Whereas 8-9 weeks with a gen pop, like, you'd be lucky to fucking get 2 solid weeks out of them if you went there. Like, you'd be surprised. I went on holiday last year for a week, came back, and I swear to God, over half my clients had not tracked the week. Like, well, you were on holiday, so I just kind of went to shit. Yeah, I was on holiday, yes. Like, so why is it going to shit? Like, you know what you're supposed to be doing. But it's like, so with Gen Pop, sometimes
it doesn't count because you're away.
Yeah, fucking get in! Holiday time. Like, fucking hell.
Like, the amount of time you probably give them over a week is probably maybe doesn't change hugely. It's more a case of when the closer they get to prep, you're probably speaking to them every day.
Yeah.
So, like, rather than, say, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever on a check-in day, it'll be 3 minutes a day. Checking your phone, messaging them how they're doing, all that sort of stuff, because they just require that level of support near the end, I suppose. But I don't coach a huge amount of them, so it's not a huge problem for me. That's your choice.
Yeah. What is the easiest part of your job?
Well, what do you thought about that?
Easiest part of the job.
What is the most rewarding part as well?
Working with me, if you ask him.
Yeah, probably working with him. I'm asking him, so I'd like him to answer. I think I The most rewarding, obviously, is when you see people change it. Obviously, right? That's like getting results. People is the thing. But I think, yeah. Of course it is.
Come on, mate.
What's the easiest? I just realised it's not really a normal thing to ask, is it? Easiest. Getting to play FIFA during the day is probably pretty easy, isn't it?
Fucking hell, fire.
That's not very professional. is it?
Molly, other half.
That's not very
on the phone.
professional, is it?
3 kisses after name as well. Cute. The easiest thing about our job.
The easiest thing, actually,
The
is
easiest
the
thing-
flexibility in your week.
The easiest thing is for me. It almost doesn't feel like a job, as cliche as that sounds. Is because
Oh, shut up.
I was doing this before it was my job. I was
Quite a
doing.
real job.
Yeah, when I had a real job
Mm.
in the military defending the country, Dan. Yes, correct.
Fixing planes.
Yes, without them, they would crash.
They would crash.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Well, no, without them, they wouldn't crash because they wouldn't fly.
no, without me, they would
Oh,
crash.
without you,
Yeah, fixing it. Come on. So the easiest thing, it doesn't feel like a job, like because I enjoy doing it, and I used to do it for my mates or like people I used to work with. I used to give them nutrition advice. It was all dreadful at the time, but still, I thought I knew what I was doing. So that's the easiest thing. I love it, and a lot of my clients tend to become mates as well. Like I keep in touch with all clients. I go for drinks with them. I train with them if I'm ever in the area. So like it feels good knowing that I'm waking up for the most part to just chat with my mates and help them out. So that for me is the easiest part, and obviously the rewarding side is obviously seeing them get results and maintain them, and a lot of them as well. I work with I've had a couple of eating disorder clients and stuff. Like seeing them change for me is.
I
huge.
get more of a kick now. I've seen people find the whole process simple and easy, and they enjoy food and they don't feel stressed than I do. I used to be about getting people shredded. That was really cool, and that is still really cool. But actually, now as I've got a bit older, when I see someone who used to like say have disordered eating or issues around that, and they just become totally relaxed around it. They hit their goals. They love training. They love food. Like it's so much better now doing that.
The hardest part.
Never been able to switch off.
Yeah.
I'm awful at it, but like, you don't ever have. I just say you don't have a day off. You do have a day off, but I think if you're truly in this job, you don't switch off.
No, we talked about this earlier. Like at 10 o'clock at night, when you get a message come in, you're going to read that message because you don't want to leave it because you feel like that person's paying you, so you need to be there.
Yeah, it's the best bit and the worst bit about the job is that you are in charge of your own schedule, and it is the best and worst. Like we said, it's other people don't quite understand it when you're then working late at night, all this sort of stuff. But people have
bit,
this.
like with family and friends, like gets a bit.
I don't have any friends, but
no family.
Family is it does get a bit. And it's little things like even going out for dinner can sometimes be, if you don't take your phone, is an achievement to go out for dinner for 3 hours and not take your phone, and like that is weird behaviour.
It's
that's
weird.
not
You
normal.
feel like you need to have
and
something on you all the time.
And I think that it's that constant. And the other hard thing is having that constant, I suppose, need to not please people, but you always feel like you want to give them everything you've got, and it gets to a point where you can't do that. You have to set those boundaries.
You've got to detach yourself from that sometimes,
especially as well, because that's the thing that initially will get you success. Like I said before, like going all in on it for the first year or 2 years will get you loads of success. But then because that got you the initial success, you assume you have to carry on doing that, and you do to a degree. But I've been going through a lot, like that's 6 months, about having to just relax more and not do anything, and actually have time just sitting there watching TV for 2 hours and not doing anything. Like that has been a goal of mine that I've been given from someone to say, look, you need to calm the fuck down, because I was too far that way.
Yeah.
So, and that will always be the hardest thing, I think.
I agree.
I agree with all of that. Like that is probably the hardest thing. But I also think that being, and this goes across the board, just being self-employed. I think the insecurity that you've got, because whilst we've still got full clients, there's nothing that would stop half of them falling away. Like obviously it'd be a freak of nature if that happened. But like let's just say they stopped working with you, or I got ill, seriously ill, and I couldn't work with them, and I lost all my clients. I had to start from scratch again. Like. So you're always, I suppose, conscious that your income is directly related to you and not on somebody else. Whereas you go to a 9 to 5, you know you're getting paid, you're comfortable. Whereas it's almost like if 3 or 4 clients drop off, you're almost then clucking a little bit like, I need to fill that back up because I've not got as much money this month, etc. So I feel that there's always a niggly part in the back of my head.
Indirectly in the back of your head, isn't it, when that kind of happens? And I can relate to that a lot, actually. Because like you said, when a few clients leave, like you're not directly thinking about it, but then you're thinking about potentially,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to film them straight away,
Mm-hmm.
otherwise you're not going to get as much income as you do.
Yeah.
I think that's where, like, one thing that I've been trying really hard to do, we both tried really hard, is making sure that we're still advertising we take on clients, even if we're pretty full.
Yeah.
And have, because I think that's the other thing, is
You're
you
always
start
gonna
getting
get
full,
turnaround.
start getting full, and then you get lazy with that side of things, and then it takes you a month or two to then start doing that again, to then see the end product, because you never put out some content or whatever, and then the next day you get a client from it, unless it's like a direct CTA. But even then, you can put the same CTA out a month later, but after putting out a month's worth of good content, and it will be more likely people are going to go for it. So it's constantly being in that thing of like, putting out CTA, or like making sure that you're telling people that, look, I do take on clients still, even though you don't tell people like you're pretty full, but I know that this month maybe 2 people might drop off. But if I sign 2 people up this month, it's like, well, net I'm the same every month. And I think that's the one thing that usually slips when you get busy, is trying to get new clients in, but that needs to be quite constant.
Yeah, you should indirectly sell.
Yeah,
So
it's
just show
hard,
people
isn't it?
that who you're working with and what you're working on will always show people that you're working with clients, and it gets people intrigued, I think, which is the biggest thing.
Exactly.
So just always tag them in stuff, and awesome.
Nice.
Right, should we go to gym?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right guys, hope you're doing good. So just finished with Dan and Mike. Both Dan and Mike are finishing up doing some work now. So it just goes to show how long an actual day is for online coaches, especially like a heavy check-in day when you've got lots and lots of work to do all in one day. The work doesn't really stop because they've been doing that since the morning, since I've got there. Obviously I had to take a bit of time out for me as well, and then also they're carrying on now as well. So the work really doesn't stop sometimes, and as you would have seen in the Q&A, sometimes it feels like we can never really switch off. So it's always good to give the listeners and the watchers a good insight onto how online coaching actually works, because it's not just a case of messing around on your phone, sending a couple messages and that's it. It's a lot more involved, as you would have seen obviously in the guys' days that we filmed today. So massive thank you to both Dan and Mike for having me over to film them, and hopefully in the next one we'll have another guest from the OFB course, so that'd be good, so you could actually see an insight as to how someone has actually grown their business through following OFB and the principles we use. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment on this video, and we'll see you soon.